and General Manager of Cross-Cultural Communication. Moreover, he designed the Saudi Aramco Professional Development Academy program. He led and coordinated the development, writing, and implementation of Saudi Aramco Pro. He authored the book by the name Basic English for Security Cards in 1994. This textbook was published and used by Royal Commission and by Jubail Industrial College. Furthermore, he wrote in collaboration the English for Internal Auditors course. He possesses a self-explanatory personality. This talented soul is no one other than Khalid Dossary. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Dr. Khalid Dossary.
I cannot see anybody here. What's happening? The lights are in my eyes. Okay, assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. What's happening here? You don't like me anymore? You got me to Pakistan and everybody was speaking Urdu. So you should take care of me. And I stayed the whole event here, listening to Urdu, enjoying, of course, the beautiful gathering from my lovely Pakistani brothers and sisters here, because, of course, we Saudis love and cherish the relationship with that country. And we're very proud to have this relationship. I'm a bit, though, little bit uneasy today, not because I wanted to show you and give you something wow, but it seems to me the technology has filled this beautiful value. I was in Sierra Leone, Africa, in an orphanage, in a restaurant, and they didn't have this problem. And now we have this beautiful technology, and I can show you my PowerPoint presentation. What does this tell me? I leave this for the organizers. First of all, I would like really to thank Advocate Farouk and Advocate Fatma for inviting me. And of course, the special person I would like to thank is Sheikh Sayyida Numira. She is the one who's hooked me with Read Pakistan. And I was really very happy to have contributed something to Read Pakistan and become an ambassador of Read Pakistan. Now, what has really hooked me to Read Pakistan is the fact that they are carrying a noble, sublime mission that our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has talked about for those who seek knowledge. The ants, the whales, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they make dua for those seekers of knowledge. That in itself is a great honor. Even the ants pray for those people who read. Now, just something is very important to mention here. I would love to go to my presentation. My presentation is basically developing ethical readers through a methodology, and this methodology is called self-directed learning teams. Self-directed learning teams, a stepping stone to knowledge society. Self-directed learning teams, a stepping stone to knowledge society. Now, many people speak about, or universities speaks about knowledge societies. Saudi universities in the Gulf, they speak about getting and reaching knowledge society. The question is that we need to always ask ourselves, are we in Pakistan a knowledge society? Read Pakistan is one of the ways that will get us to that society. But if we are going to depend on just data, information, and just read, without actualizing it and turning into constructive reading, transformative reading, we're not going to reach to the goals of the reading. Because the goals of the reading in itself are not the end in themselves. We're supposed to have the reading, develop people that will convey the knowledge, because we have 4 things to concentrate on. Knowledge, applying the knowledge, conveying the knowledge, persevering and becoming patient in all of that. These are essentials that are established in our deen, Islam. Knowledge, you see to the knowledge, you apply the knowledge, you convey the knowledge, and you become patient in all of that. So it's very important to understand, if you just read for the sake of reading per se, it's not really that what we are really want in Islam. Because we are thinking about constructive reading. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made us grow in this land and inhabit it, but most importantly, we need to develop leaders through readers. It's very important to develop leaders through readers, and communicators through readers. Because these 3 things are very important. You cannot just come to the people and say, just read and read and read. We need to have and concentrate on the ethical reading, which the adhan 5 times a day reminds us of. Allah is a greater. So when you read, you have to make sure that Allah is a greater. When you read, you have to make sure that you testify that there is no God except Allah. When you read, you need to testify that Muhammad is the best example, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that has ever walked this earth. When you read, you have to know that success, hayya ala salah, that if you want to become alive, you have to make sure that your connection is always with Allah, all the time. You don't neglect prayers and the fundamentals of your culture, Islamic culture. And that's your strength. That is our identity. Now, if we forget about this, we have a big problem. So when we read, we have to remember that this connection with Allah will make us alive. Because when the caller says, Hayya ala salat, means come and become alive. Come and become alive. You know, many people think that Hayya means just come. No. Hayya comes from Haya, life. You can never be alive if your connection with your Creator is wrong. And you can never read, okay, if you don't boundary your reading with that godly filter. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His mercy, has put 5 times a day through the revelation, the dream of our companion, to remind us that we're supposed to be what? We're supposed to be alive all the time. But you can never be alive if your connection with your Creator is faulty. Then, the adhan is telling us exactly, if you want to really to be successful in this life, hayya ala al-falah. What does hayya ala al-falah mean? It means come and become alive and be successful in this world and in the hereafter. So your vision is not just this world. Because if you think about only this life, your ethics will be aching. But if you think about the life after, your ethics will always be guiding you, so that even when you read, and we encourage people to read, we have to make sure that that filter is always there. Because you cannot guarantee with that intensive reading or a drive for reading that the people will start going away from what you see now what's happening in the world. Biggest country so-called, supporting LGBTs, and those are very educated, civilized so-called. Do they read or not? They read, and they read a lot. But they've become more destructive to the whole world instead of constructive, unlike Islam. Islam, even the wording of Islam would say, Umr means construction. Umri, my age is, I don't want to reveal that, so that at least I have a chance to be looked nicely. My age, Umri, comes from Amar, construction. Islam is not the religion of destruction, it's the religion of construction. وَالَّذِي اسْتَعْمَرَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ means He has made you inhabit this land to construct it, but who? You. So it's the most important thing is to start with the people, and the people need to be leaders. And the most importantly is not to stifle the talents in the way we educate them, In universities, unfortunately, and colleges, these days, you don't find this constructivist approach or social construct par excellence. You find it just a word, or in PhDs, what people really, they don't really apply it. You know, so to reach the knowledge societies, universities have to apply this. And homes, we need to have knowledge-based homes. We need to have knowledge-based neighborhood. We need to have knowledge-based communities. We need to have knowledge-based country. You know, we have a big challenge. If we are going to use the same traditional way of teaching, we're going backward, and we're going to kill all those bonanza of talents and capabilities that will be sitting just listening to you, and this is the worst part. And this is the worst thing you could do, is to stand and lecture, and all those bonanzas and talents are not being, utilized, and you cannot even get them out so that they are put together to have a power, synergistic power that will lead the country into construction and technology. This is the one thing you could do. This is why traditionally, the traditional way of teaching has become, unfortunately, detrimental to the progress. You don't push it aside, but it is a data point, it's a knowledge point, but it is not a competency-based. Does not develop leaders like what Prophet Muhammad wants us to do when he says, convey about me, even if it is one verse, beautifully. Convey about me beautifully, even if it is one verse. Notice, one verse. Anybody here does not know one verse? I challenge you all. Our job, if you know one verse, it's a must on you to convey it. So there is this immediacy strength there. Immediacy strength, meaning what? This is what is called constructive approach. As soon as you learn something, you teach it to others. When you learn something, you get knowledge. But when you teach it to others, you build a character of sharing and caring that takes care of the community. But as soon as the person read, what happens? Then we become like the Jews, كَالْحِمَارِ يَحْمِلُ أَسْفَارًا, like the donkey carrying the testament on the back of that donkey without sharing that knowledge. And this characteristic is a characteristic of the Jews that the Quran speaks ill about. So we have to be very careful. I know reading is important, and we have to encourage people to read. This is why we have an international program. After I retired from Aramco, I've dedicated myself to this international program, and I've called it EIECC. What does EIECC mean? Watch my step. Effective, Islamic, cross-cultural communication. We are in the business of developing. We are in the business of developing global leaders in communication to other cultures by improving English. Why? To carry the treasure that we have called Islam to the whole world. How? Effectively. And all of this program comes under the word valuable. Valuable. And valuable, many of you, unfortunately, what does it mean? If I ask anybody of you here, what does valuable mean? You're Muslim, you're leaders in Islam. You are my sheikh, I'm not a sheikh. Who said, what does it mean? Wrong. Sorry, sister, I failed you. Yes. Huh? Wrong. Yes, tell me more, please. What does valuable mean? Don't make me go to the mom and get angry. I'm already angry, as I am. Okay, tell me more, come on. What does valuable mean? Yes? Huh? Great, mashallah. Wrong. Yes. Tell me more, come on. Huh? You see, you have failed at this, all of you. All of you have failed at this. We have ilm from this word called what? Balagha, صح? What does balagha? Today you heard this beautiful poetry and the proses. Yes, eloquence, It is more than eloquent. So it's not just a matter of conveying. It is the how of conveying, the way of conveying, with whom you are there, okay? Your selection of the words, your selection of the expressions, all included in the word valuable. And not only, when you choose, you have to choose beautiful words, to the extent that it might get into the hearts of the people, so they start thinking about what you're talking about. The power of communication. You know, Islam, the words of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ are so succinct, meaningful. You have to go deep into the linguistic. The adhan, I already told you about hayya. How many of you know about hayya the way I explained it before? Where is my proof of that? The proof is that when I said hayya, come hurriedly and become alive. The proof in Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said, the similitude of the one who remembers Allah and the one who doesn't remember Allah is like the one who's alive and the one who's dead. So if you don't remember Allah and you're away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what happens to you? You're dead. You want to wake up again? You want to resurrect again? Huh? Come back to prayer. Come back to the salah. Come back to the attachment, to the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad. All of you love Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How much we are abiding by, thank you. How much are we abiding by the time? Oh, sorry. Okay. It's tough. Like, as if I didn't see it anyway. So, you understand that? So the program, I'll just go back to EIECC, because this is why I came, by the way. Everything I would say has to go. If I don't market that program, I have failed miserably. Yesterday, alhamdulillah, I was in Faisalabad, and I was in a city that I can't pronounce. Gujrawala, and they took me in a very nice road that hurt my stomach and my belly. So, alhamdulillah, beautiful road, lovely road. And it was deliberate so that they wanted to increase my rewards and ajr. I felt good after that, but anyway, that's another English, but beautiful one though. So what are the goals of EIECC? The goals of EIECC, the first one, developing global leadership from within. Underline from within. So we don't want to spoon feed self-directed learning teams, remember that. That's our methodology. Our methodology is self-directed learning teams, stepping stone towards cross-cultural communication society, to present Islam and be proud of our culture, Islamic culture. So what are the three things? The first one is to develop global leadership in cross-cultural communication to present Islam in the middle of this barrage of distortion for all of us, our country, Saudi, Pakistan, all of that. Now how can you stand the ground and you present yourself with pride, not dilution, dilute your deen, dilute your culture. You have to say who you are. I'm not interested in getting into debates on who am I as a Muslim? Who am I as a Pakistani, as a Saudi? These are very important terms. Many of us, unfortunately, have been hijacked culturally and think they know who they are. They don't. And that's the worst thing that we're facing now because of the influx of scholarships, the Arabs. Thousands. So we've designed this course to bring them back and ignite their passion so that they come back and start helping us to improve their English, Islamic English, to present Islam to them. So it has become like an institute, English institute, but the whole content is Islamic. And the way we train people is very powerful. I used to be the head of the professional learning for Aramco, future leaders. They had to go through me. That was 10 years ago before I retired. So I know what I'm talking about. You have to concentrate on not just the knowledge, the process, the competencies, the leadership, all. Not to be just read, no. But what's after reading? It has to be project-based reading, experiential reading, authentic reading. All these are very important. So it's not just a matter of tell me, read. Yes, I want to read. But what's the end? Where am I going with that reading? The second goal, we want all those who speak English in the world to be an Islamic exhibit on the wall. Instead of being hijacked and acting like, hey man, what's happening? Or hey man, let's gather together. No, we don't want that stuff. But let's be proud of our culture. All of you speak beautiful English, native like. Use it for the sake of Allah. How many of you have used it for the sake of Allah? English language. We have a problem. Many, unfortunately, shy away from being proud of their culture and present it to the rest. the third goal, which is very important, to produce communities of commitment. Communities of commitment that will work together to achieve the goal of Malli Wa'ani Walawa. It doesn't need somebody to tell you. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has already told you one verse. Nobody is exempted. Nobody is excused. So we have to, of course, to reach to this powerful leadership I'm talking about, we have a very stringent process. We have tools that are very powerful. I wanted to show it today in the PowerPoint, but unfortunately, the technology, I hate you, failed me. Technology, not you. Okay? So, with all of that, I don't know what to say more than that. Of course, there are specific objectives like improving Islamic English, improving communication, improving self-led, improving the, increasing your terms and expression. You live in an environment where you are immersed in an Islamic English, and you live in that Islamic English center, and believe me, the 3 days makes a huge difference in your life, And with that, I have many things to say, but of course, I know I should have taken more hours, because we spoke in order how many speakers, and I was simmering in my soup there. One thing, somebody to translate took it, unfortunately. Even though I know it was enjoyable, I wanted to clap. I didn't know why, but anyway, I clapped. Okay? With this, I would like to thank you all for inviting me.